Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises and double honors due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, wa Malak Yahushai. Secondly, this is Brother Yardan, WFI Detroit, coming back at you with yet another cold cup. Today in this cold cup, we'll be watching a quick video. And as you can see in front of you, what really happens when a fly lands on your food. Alright, this video is pretty important, not only for edification and for health, safety, but it also goes back to the law. Right, it goes back to Leviticus, the 11th chapter, which we'll get to shortly after this video. But I want to play this video so Israel can see the effects that what happens when a fly lands on your food, right? And how serious this is, and a lot of people would think, it's common sense, don't eat it. But Jake, our people, we already do the 5-second rule. We already do a lot of other things that's unclean that, we don't think much of. So, Abba Ratazah, this is edifying through the Spirit. And not only that, but to also be more mindful of what's around your food, right? If you see a fly around your food or somewhere around the house, you got to make haste to get rid of that fly, right? So it don't fall on your food or your cups. All right. So we saw all the negative things that happens when a fly lands on your food, right? It's pretty vile. That's disgusting. So be more vigilant of, what's around your food and what's around you. Because sometimes a fly just creep up on your food. And some jakes, you may swat at it and, may think nothing of it. Oh, it's just a fly. And you still eat it, right? A lot of people don't eat it, but, there's still a few jakes that, that 5-second rule. If you're doing that 5-second rule, you might not have a problem with a fly on your food for 1 second, So let's go to the law. This is Leviticus, the 11th chapter. And this reminds me of the old saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. Now, although that's not a biblical verse out the Bible, there's still truth behind it, because there are cleanliness laws, right? The Lord tells us how to be clean, and once we're clean, that's good in the eyes of the Lord, because the Most High wants us to be clean in every way, spiritually, physically, and mentally. All right. So I'll start at 31. I get 29, since brothers don't really bring this out on the highways and byways. We usually just stop at verse Leviticus 11 and 12. We usually stop here, but you got to read the rest. We're going to start reading the rest, because there was a Jake today that said, or a while back, he told me, look, I eat turtle soup. We had to tell him, brother, you can't eat turtles. That's an unclean animal. It doesn't have either fins or scales. Okay? So, Leviticus, the 11th chapter and the 29th verse. These also shall be unclean unto you, among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind. So no things that's in the family of a tortoise, whether it be sea turtles, box turtle, snap turtle, no turtles, right? No tortoises, all right? Verse 30, and the ferret and the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the mole, those are all unclean animals. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they be dead shall be unclean unto the even. Now, not that you should want to go out your way and touch these animals, but if you just so happen to touch the one while it's dead, you'll be considered unclean. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doeth it fall, it shall be unclean. And perhaps you're in a weird situation where it just so happens to fall on a vessel of wood or raiment or sin or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and shall be unclean unto the even. So shall it be cleansed. All right, that's straight up and down. So if it be, and it gets, this is real, detailed. It has to be with a vessel of wood, raiment, skin, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be, when any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean unto the even. All right, so you have to do that. And every earthen vessel wherein, it's like wherein too, any of them falleth, right? And every earthen vessel, and I'm gonna pull it up for Jake. Made of earth, made of clay or other substance as an earthen vessel. All right. Earthenware vessels were used for storing, cooking, and serving food, as well as for containers for shipping a variety of liquids. Pottery played a vital, important role in everyday lives of the people of Bible times. All right, so with that understanding, we know that if any unclean animal fall into that, the raiment, skin, sack, it has to, or wherein any work is done, it must be put into water. And every earthen vessel, like what we just read, particularly cups, certain other vessels, it might be a vase, whereinto any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Right, so it has to be broken. And that's a righteous law. Because after what we just read or watched, you should want to do the same. You should want to break it. All right. That should be the first thing that pops in your head. And it was man's goings, all praise to the Most High, because I just so happened to open YouTube and that was the first video I seen. And again, the first thing that popped in my head was Leviticus 11th chapter. And that's a righteous law. That's beautiful. Because I'm going to say it again, you Jakes, man, you won't think nothing of it. All right. You already do the 10-second rule. And all that is just making an excuse for your hunger lust. Brother, throw it away and get something else. You don't know what's been on the floor. So you have to be clean in this thing. That's the law. Don't know if I'm gonna have much time, but let me get this too. Now at the end of the video, it said this. What did it say? So be good to your body. All right, that's in the scriptures as well. Be good to your body. Where is that at? I'm looking over it. There's a lot of precepts where the Lord tells us how to take care of our body. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching controller and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man. All right, so you have to take care of your body. And you don't take care of your body just by working out and eating healthy. You have to make sure and understand what's in your food and what possibly touched your food. You know. Oh, I remember. Well, it's not really essential, but brothers and sisters, you get the point now. All right, you get the point. That's the edifying video as well. What happens when a fly lands in your food? That's a good one as well. She gets a little bit more, in depth with it. So I watched these videos and I did even a little bit more studying and researching on it. So a fly is a foul. That's a foul insect. It's a decomposer, right? It eats up the dead things of the earth. Right? It's its job to be a trash can. So when you eat such an animal or insect that eats dead things, guess what's going to happen to your insides? It's going to wither away. Right, now this is an idiom, fly in the ointment. A fly in the ointment is a small event, circumstance, or factor that spoils an entire endeavor, circumstance, or reputation, etc. Believe it or not, that goes back to the scriptures as well. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. In other words, for those who may not know, all it takes is a little bit of an error or a blemish to ruin your whole reputation. All it takes is one dead fly and the ointment of the apothecary to destroy it all. All it takes is one fly to fall in your vessel for the whole thing to be unclean. So, how much more your body, right? How much more the Lord in a camp, right? But more importantly, the Lord in a ministry. Because when you doing something erroneous or you going off, that doesn't reflect you only in your actions and who you are as a person, but it also reflects the people you're with, which you represent as well. And so the scriptures